Chris Brown, Steve Tasker with you, and pleased to be joined now by Executive Vice President of Pagula Sports and Entertainment, Ron Raccuia, who has been a busy guy down at the owners' meetings the last couple of days, and he joins us from the sunny confines of West Palm. And with snowflakes flying here, Ron, we are admittedly jealous, but doing some important work down there, and glad you can make some time for us. We know you're a busy guy. And I want to start here, Ron. Now that the MOU has been signed, you get the G4 funding from the league on Monday. That's been approved. So for lack of a better term, because I'm sure there are things that you guys are taking care of with respect to the agreement, are you in somewhat of a wait-and-sit position, knowing you need the state budget to still be passed, and the county legislature has work to do as well, or can you now work on things like a project labor agreement or construction coordination, things like that?
Hey, Chris. Hey, Steve. How you doing? Yeah,
good.
it's pretty beautiful out here. So thanks for allowing me to do this from outside. We are in a wait and see mode in terms of finality on the agreements. But I will tell you that the Pagulas decided several months ago to allow us to continue working the project as if it was going to get done. So we didn't fall behind. So we've been working every day with Populous, with Legends, with the state and the county, getting ready for this construction project. So for us, it's full steam ahead, although we are kind of in that wait and see mode in terms of a final agreement.
And how soon will it be before, Populous and you guys decide on what the initial renderings are going to look like? Because you know how that is. I mean, most of us, we just want to see what it's going to look like. How soon will that happen? On the horizon is that, and how big of changes could there be during the process of when you break ground till the end product? There's obviously going to be some change orders in that project, but how soon will it be before we kind of start to get our mind around what it's going to look like?
Steve, I think we're probably a couple of months away from that, from real definitive drawings. We may have some conceptual renderings that we can share before that in certain areas, but I would say a couple of months. Populous has done a great job. As you guys know, Scott Radisek and his team have been working on this project for a decade. We've been working on it really quite extensively since 2018, and certainly very, very in-depth over the last 6 months.
And Ron, I know you've stated in some previous interviews that the stadium will be open air, but that the majority of seats will have coverage from the elements. Just for reference, are there stadiums that fans can use and look at either here stateside or in Europe that you think at least provide them with a general picture as to what they can expect?
I would say the best stadium to look at in that regard, Chris, is Tottenham.
Okay.
It's a stadium that Populous did. It's a stadium that the NFL uses for the international series. It's a couple of years old, very similar in size, 63,000 seats. Square footage, I think there, it might be 1.5 or 1.6 million square feet, a little bit bigger than ours, but ours intended to be, but not much. So I would point to Tottenham. There are a few, we're trying to take the best of everything. There are things at SoFi that we really like, although, we're not building SoFi Stadium. There's things at the Raiders' new stadium at Allegiant that we found. The stadium, LAFC Stadium in LA, has some really cool features. Legends did that project that we think would be incorporated into a new stadium. So we've really tried to take the best of all of it and then really make it for Buffalo. As Terry has said multiple times, this is a stadium built for the Buffalo Bills, for our football team. We want to create the best home field advantage in the NFL. So we want to use all of that to our advantage to win some football games.
You also mentioned the footprint. The current footprint of Highmark Stadium is about 900,000 square feet. This one, as you said, is going to be 1.4 million or 1.5 million square feet. Where will fans notice the difference in that footprint?
Everywhere, Steve. The concourses, the gate entry, the width of the seats. They'll notice it every place. That's one of the amenities that our fans really want, and that's a modern convenience in all the new stadiums. Is you want people to feel comfortable, you want them to enjoy being there for long periods of time and to keep coming back. So yeah, they're going to feel that everywhere. And so, by the way, so will the back end, the things that people don't see. More room for food and beverage, more room for the football team, the locker rooms, all of that, the press. They'll all have an advanced experience in the new stadium.
And with the announcement made on Monday, Ron, when we were doing our show yesterday, I think the most popular concern from the callers was the reduction in seating capacity. You stated 60 to 62,000 seats. Can you just explain whether or not there will be additional tickets for entry that will go above and beyond just the 60 to 62,000 seats?
Yes, right now we're looking at these party deck concepts, these standing room only areas that younger fans and especially are enjoying throughout sports. We think there's another opportunity for maybe 3,000 to 5,000 more of those. I was asked a question this morning on WGR. They said, yeah, but will those people be able to see the game? Yes. Our idea is that every fan deck, every party zone will actually face the field, because the action on the field is the most important thing. So when you start adding that all together, we get into the 65, 66, 67,000 range. And that's exactly what we have on, thankfully on Bills game days now.
And the timeline that's been mentioned a couple of times is the 2026 season. That doesn't seem like very far away, and yet there's so much to do. I mean, is it realistic, and how critical is it to get out of the old stadium before you get into the new one? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Are we going to expire the old stadium before? Because we've heard also that there's kind of an expiration date on those upper decks of the old stadium.
Well, first of all, the county, the state, and the team have done a great job maintaining Highmark. We'll continue to do that as long as we're playing there, to make sure that it's safe and functional for our fans and for our players. But we want to get to the new stadium as quickly as possible. 2026 is aggressive, but it is realistic. As I mentioned kind of earlier, the Pagulas allowed us to continue this process so we weren't delayed by doing all of the things that were necessary to ensure that 2026 opening date.
Ron, you mentioned in the FAQ on BuffaloBills.com the concept of temperature-controlled spaces within the stadium confines. Is there any detail that can be provided on that, just because we had fans asking about that as well yesterday on the show, and how and where will that benefit the fans in terms of the in-game experience?
Well, the temperature control spaces are going to be everywhere in the stadium. I mean, if you just think about Highmark right now, the only temperature controlled spaces are in the clubs and in the suites. The 100 level, the 300 level are completely exposed to the elements. In our plans now, every section, every area of the stadium, fans will be able to go get warm, have temperature controlled spaces to be able to enjoy the game and the experience without being in the elements. That's going to be integral throughout the entire process.
And it's going to be a little bit different setup than it's been, where there's going to be PSLs, personal seat licenses. How does the mechanics, I know it's way far in the distance of how much it's going to cost or anything. What's it going to work like? I mean, how does this personal seat license work?
So personal seat license, is going to be owned for 30 years by the fan. It's transferable. They can give it to their family and their friends. They can resell it on the marketplace. It's going to come with a tremendous set of season ticket holder benefits that are going to be unique, to the PSL holder. And it's a reality in today's NFL, and it's a critical function to building any new stadium. What we did say and what we're committed to doing is making them the most affordable PSLs in the NFL.
So are you seriously, this is kind of like, forgive me, I'm putting this into golf mentality. So if I'm a member of a club, like a personal seat license, I can sell my membership to another person for market value?
Yes, or above. Yep, it's yours. You own it. You own it for 30 years.
Daddy liked that. I can say. Okay.
All right. Last one from me, Ron, because I know you've mentioned this before. With respect to fans and the public participating in the planning process, what can maybe Bills season ticket members expect? Should they expect the Bills to be reaching out, or how might that work in terms of public participation?
Chris, we've encouraged our fans to partake in everything that we have available to them. This week, we have season ticket member forums taking place with legends in CSL. Some of our suite holders, our corporate partners, a lot of community leaders, they're doing that all this week. We've had surveys. We'll have more. We'll have focus groups, fan forums. The fans are going to be a big part of this. It's for them, and we want to make sure that their voices are heard and what they're looking for in the new stadium is met.
All right, Ron, I know this. My last one from me. I know there's a million moving parts to a deal like this. We've all gotten a glimpse of that with the public statements from all the parties involved. But you've got the County of Erie, the state of New York, the NFL, and, of course, the Buffalo Bills all on board together. Can you give us a quick handful of landmarks that you're looking for? Obviously, the renderings we talked about, September 1st, getting the budgets passed. Past that, what are some of the other landmarks that fans can look for?
Yeah, let's kind of go through it. This week, the New York State budget will get passed. That'll make it official from a state's perspective. Within 30 days, the Erie County Legislature has to approve it. That'll make it official from a Erie County perspective. Then by September 1st, all the long form agreements that we mentioned have to be executed. Then the fun really starts. People say, when's the construction? When's the first hole in the ground? The way people think about that, it's probably a year from now. Depending on the weather. We don't need any more days in March with 20 degrees.
Yeah.
If we get some good weather, we could start this in the early spring of 2023. And, from there, it's about a 30 to 32 month construction cycle. We're going to chronicle it all. Our great team, at the Bills and at PSE will do a great job putting that on all of our platforms. So it'll be fun. People want to see drawings. I've heard that loud and clear over the last 24 hours. We'll get Populous moving as quickly as we possibly can.
All right, Ron. Well, listen, you keep working on your tan down there and keep doing the good work. We appreciate the time as always. We know you're busy. And congratulations. I know it's a monumental project. We thank you for your part, and also Kim and Terry and all of that. We're excited for it, and congratulations on this landmark achievement. And we're look forward to what it produces.
Thanks, guys. We are too. Appreciate all of your help as well.